Have you noticed? The moment you stop waiting for them, everything changes. The same person who ignored you for days, suddenly starts noticing you again. Texting again, checking on you again, acting different. Why does this happen? Is it love, or is it something deeper in human psychology? Have you ever noticed something strange? The moment you stop waiting for someone, they suddenly start showing up. The silence you were used to, turns into messages. The distance you were carrying alone suddenly becomes their problem. Why does this happen? Because attention is powerful. And withdrawal is louder than effort. Listen carefully, because this is where most people get trapped in emotional waiting. At first, you wait. You check your phone again and again. You overthink every scene and no reply. You tell yourself, maybe they are busy. Maybe they will come back. Days pass. Then weeks. And slowly, you start losing yourself in the waiting. You don't realize it. But you are giving them full control. Control over your emotions. Control over your peace. Control over your attention. You feel lethargic. Your heart aches badly. You miss them desperately. The same person who played with your emotions. Who left you alone. Who did not care about your emotions and feelings. Who hurt you deeply. Your heart felt heavy when you were with them. And when they left. Your chest feels tight whenever you think about them. It feels like you cannot breathe properly. Like you are suffocating inside. You feel like you cannot live even a single moment without them. When you used to express love, they saw your emotions as an overreaction. As drama. As something unnecessary. They started believing your feelings were not real. They dismissed everything you felt, as if it meant nothing. And slowly, you started feeling like your emotions had no value in their eyes. You were breaking inside. But to them, it did not look the same. And that was where the real emotional damage happened. When your deepest pain was not understood. But ignored. And you became distant. And you stopped waiting for their messages. If you're relating to this so far, take 1 second to like this video, because what you're feeling is more common than you think. And here is the truth most people don't notice. When someone feels you will always be there, they stop feeling the urgency to show up. Not always because they are bad, but because human psychology works like this. We don't value constant availability. We pay attention when something we expected to stay, starts pulling away. Now listen to this shift. The moment you stop waiting, something changes in you first. You stop checking your phone. You stop rereading old chats. You stop expecting notifications. You start filling your time with yourself again. And this energy, it is noticeable. Because silence is not empty. Silence speaks. At first, they don't react. They think. They are still there. They assume you are just busy. They assume you will come back to your old pattern. But days pass. And you don't chase. You don't check in. You don't react the same way anymore. Now confusion starts. And confusion creates curiosity. Why are they not texting? Did they move on? Are they talking to someone else? This is where the mind starts to panic a little. Because humans are wired to respond more strongly to loss than presence. We ignore what is available. But we obsess over what feels gone. And when your energy shifts from waiting, to moving on, you become unpredictable. And unpredictability creates emotional pressure. Now here is something important. This is not about playing games. This is not about manipulation. This is about emotional balance. Because if someone only values you when you withdraw, they were never valuing your presence in the first place. When you were waiting, you were predictable. Always available. Always responding. But when you stop waiting, you break their assumption. Now suddenly, they feel a gap. Not always love, but fear of losing access. Fear of being replaced. Fear of losing attention they took for granted. They may text suddenly. They may say they miss you, they may also say they love you, but remember it is not love. They may check your stories. They may act like nothing happened. They may try to re-enter your space. But what changed? Not them first. You. Because you stopped orbiting around them. Now let's go deeper. When you stop waiting, you regain something very powerful. Self-respect. You start choosing yourself again. You stop reorganizing your life around someone else's silence. You stop cracking mixed signals. Because the moment your focus leaves them, their emotional space in your life shrinks. And they start feeling your absence. Not because you disappeared physically, but because you disappeared emotionally. And emotional disappearance is louder than physical distance. Now here is something most people misunderstand. You think the other person misses you. But often, they miss the attention, the access, the emotional availability. And when that access is gone, the mind starts creating urgency. But urgency is not always love. Sometimes it is just discomfort with loss of control. So what should you do? You don't chase again. You don't restart the cycle. You stay consistent with your peace. Because if someone only values you in your absence, they are reacting to loss, not recognizing your worth. The strongest position you can ever have is not chasing, not begging, not proving. It is detachment. Because detachment changes the entire dynamic. This is why sometimes, just when you stop waiting, they suddenly start noticing you again. Not magic. Not fate. Psychology. But here is the final truth. If someone only reacts when you pull away, they are reacting to distance, not connection. Real connection does not require disappearing acts. Real connection does not require emotional silence to be valued. So the real goal is not to make someone panic. The real goal is to reach a place where you don't need to be chosen repeatedly to feel worthy. Because the moment you stop waiting, you don't just change their behavior. You change your life. So the real question is this. If they only come back when you stop giving attention, does that mean they have changed? Not always. Sometimes they come back because they felt your absence. Not because they understood your value. And that is an important difference. Because attention can bring someone back. But it cannot fix disrespect. If the same pattern repeats. Ignoring you. Then returning. Then becoming cold again. Then doubting you. Then insulting you. Then you are not in a healed relationship. You are in a cycle. And over time, this cycle drains you. You start questioning yourself. You start adjusting your behavior. You start losing peace just to keep the connection alive. But a healthy relationship does not require emotional disappearance to earn respect. Real love does not punish your presence. And it does not reward your absence. So what should you do? Do not focus on whether they came back. Focus on how they behave when they are back. Because consistency is the truth. Not temporary attention. Set boundaries clearly. Do not accept repeated disrespect. Do not stay in confusion cycles hoping things will change on their own. And if the same pattern continues again and again, then the strongest decision is not chasing. It is distance. Because your peace should not depend on someone who only values you when you pull away. And that is where the loop ends. Not with waiting. Not with proving. But with choosing yourself.